All right. Okay, you guys. So I am going to start by planning. So if you guys are new to the batching and planning Zoom, can you drop it in the chat just so we kind of know how, who's new, that sort of thing. So we can like refresh, repeat whatever we need to. If not, it kind of makes it easier for us to just flow either way. So we know kind of where we're going. So if you're new to the batching and planning, making a lot of noise over here. If you're new to the batching and planning, please drop it in the chat. If not, y'all, I am so excited to plan with you, especially Limitless. You guys have your playbooks. If you have not printed them out yet, I really suggest you printing them out at some point. They're really going to help you in your business. It's really going to help you plan. So yes, it's playbook day. So I am going to go ahead and kind of use our playbook for planning, but also not. So if you don't have the playbook, you're not going to be like, wait a minute, like, what am I doing here? Right? No, I'm going to be able to help you plan for both. So you guys are going to know when I'm saying specific things, you're going to know what pages in your playbook you need to grab, you guys. So I might not directly say grab X playbook page or whatever like that. So please get to know your playbook very well so you can follow where I'm going. And the reason being too, so that this way I can just kind of flow. So if you don't have the playbook, you weren't able to print it out or anything like that, you're not any steps behind. Okay. So what we're going to do first, we are going to plan and then we are going to batch. So if you have not gotten to your pain points, I want you to drop it in the chat. If you are like, I don't even know my pain points, I don't have pain points, Christina, what are you even talking about? I want you to drop that in the chat. And the reason being is you guys are planning now is all based on pain points. So if you did not watch Rochelle's video that she put in the team page about pain points, I really suggest you going and watching that. Our Zoom that we did last week with Rise. So that also is available for everybody too. She touched on pain points. So I want you to be able to go back to those two things and utilize those when figuring out your pain points, right? And when figuring out how to talk about them. I'm not sure the Limitless playbook like status, where it's going, how it's going. That's a Lynn's question, unfortunately, because I didn't create it. So any questions like that, you guys, if you don't mind just directing them to Lindsay directly, because like I said, I was only a beta tester. Rochelle and I were only able to test it so that we could kind of see if it flows and things like that for our plannings. But I don't know anything more than that. So all right, we're going to dive into planning our week. And what we're going to do is you guys, you can take like your planner. If you have a weekly type of planner, I don't know if it's horizontal, if it's vertical, whatever it is, you can always look at your week and you can do multiple ways with your week. So I want you guys to know this when you're planning, you can look at your week very differently and we all will look at it differently. So please know that if I'm saying this is how I'm doing it, but you're like, I don't know, I need to try it this way. Try it. You guys, that is the only way you're going to stick to your planner is if it flows for you. So I'm just going to give you tips and tricks, but you find what works for you. So when you're looking at your weekly planner, I want you to go into the week thinking about a few different things. I want you to look at your week as far as what is my focused IPA going to be, right? We do our full list of IPAs and some of you guys, that's all you do with your business and that's perfect. Some of y'all are like, what more can I do? What more can I do? I feel like I can be doing more. That's when your focused IPA is going to come in. A couple different focused IPAs are going to be interactions, 3-story interactions, 3-2-1s, adding to your network, additionally adding on top of what's on the IPA list, cleaning up your network. That's a focused IPA, you guys, because some of y'all need to go clean your network. That is what your missing link is. You just need to go and you need to clean up and you need to add some new people, right? So get to know your network. For a while, my focused IPAs was just 3-2-1 and interactions and, on top of my IPAs that I normally do. And then it got to the point where I was like, whoa, I was on a work with me with Sam and she said something and it clicked. And I was like, I need to go clean my network. So I went and honestly for weeks, you guys, my focused IPA was doing 3-2-1s in my following and cleaning up. If I couldn't do a 3-2-1 on you, I didn't vibe with you, you weren't giving me the woo, and I wasn't getting the woo from you, I was woo, you were gone, right? Like a lot of sound effects there, you guys, but that's just how I roll with some hand gestures. Okay. Cause it's Sunday and we need some pumping up over here because I see some faces. Y'all look still half asleep. Okay. And I don't even pop capsules, y'all. So that I'm just getting it. I don't even think I put on my wearable nutrition. That is how good this stuff is. Just rolls into the next day. Okay. So that was a lot of wooing. Yes, it was. So Rochelle, thank you. Some of y'all need to go clean your networks, right? Some of y'all need to go and clean up your networks, and that is going to change everything for you. That is going to change when you're doing your IPA. So when you're looking at your week in a whole, I want you to look at it and think, what focused IPAs can I be doing? What is my pain point going to be for the day, right? We talked about this last week. Nobody said they were new. So you guys already know how we flow with the pain points. Pick your pain point for the day. And it might be a focused for the week. Maybe you're going to focus on promoters and you're going to actually tell the same story multiple different ways. And maybe it's about credit card debt, right? Maybe you're going to talk about debt and that is your pain point, and having to always walk in somewhere and know that everything has to go on a credit card, and you're looking to see if you have enough balance, and you're checking your bank account to see if you have enough even on there to be able to swipe it, or X, Y, and Z. And maybe that is what you are going to talk about this week. So you can break up your pain points and have them be daily, especially if you're going to go from customer to promoter to customer to promoter and kind of flow that way. You guys know Rochelle and I kind of have taken the flow of 1 week kind of talking on our newsfeed more customer based, the next week talking more promoter based. So you can always go that way with it, right? So you can pick a focus pain point for the week or pick a pain point every single day. Okay. And then picking your focused IPAs and kind of look at your week and just think to yourself, how do I want my book to look, right? We heard that last week on the Zoom and I loved that. How do I want my book to look, right? So go ahead, you guys, I'm going to mute myself for the next 5-ish minutes so that we can go ahead and start looking at our week, picking out our pain points, assigning a pain point for each day, because when we batch with Rochelle, that's where we're going to pull from. We're going to pull from those pain points, and that's how we're going to batch our content. So I want you to look at your week, drop any questions that you have in the chat.
Christina, can I just add something really quick? So recently, and we talk a lot about the 80-20 rule. Well, recently, because I did a social media audit on myself and I realized that I wasn't sharing enough lifestyle posts, enough about me. So when you're going through and you're assigning your pain points and you're assigning like what you're going to talk about each day, make sure you're throwing lifestyle posts into the mix. And I just wanted to say this because last week, so I recently picked up reading, like for fun, like reading those Colleen Hoover books that everybody on your social media is posting about. I started sharing that I was reading those and I wanted to see what the hype was all about. And in my nearly 3 years of being here, have never had so many new conversations at once, so many like new, like genuine connections at once. Like I have so many new friends on social media simply because I shared that like I'm reading these books, and it just opened like this whole network of people up for me who now like I literally talk to every day. Like I have this group, this like circle of girls that we literally catch each other up on where we're at in the books, like every single day. So it just goes to show how important it is to, I just feel like not enough of us pull from our branding fives. I think we feel that like if we don't talk about the opportunity today, or we don't talk about the products today in a post or whatever, that we didn't work our business. And that's not true, you guys. We always say that like your audience has to know who you are. And so I just wanted to throw that out there, that when you're going through and assigning what you're going to talk about each day, if you're somebody who posts like 7 days a week, I would make it a goal to at least 3 to 4 of those days, make sure you're doing lifestyle posts, even if it's like you're posting twice a day. So you're talking about the business or the products, a lot. even if you're doing twice a day, like one business or product, and then maybe later on in the day, you're going to do a lifestyle, just make sure that you're throwing more lifestyle posts in there. Okay. That's it. Sorry.
And Rochelle, don't ever be sorry. This is why I love us. We do this together, you guys. So keep in mind, have your fives list next to you. You guys, so your pain points and your fives should be with you when you're planning. Okay. So like Rochelle just said, to be able to pull from your fives, y'all, you can pull from a pain point and post your fives without trying to share the business or the product, right? Like Rochelle was saying, the books, for example, she may be able to share today a post of her book and reading outside. And then tomorrow she talks about how she never had time to be able to do things that she loved. And this opportunity gave that. And when you look back, you're like, oh yeah, she was sitting outside reading. I would love to read a book. Do you see how they all flow together? Even if you're really posting lifestyle, you guys, they will flow into your business and into your products. So like Rochelle said, don't think that you're not working your business, because you are, because it's your book, right? You're painting these pictures. Okay, you guys, when you're looking at your week as well, I want you to start planning out your stories too. So what do you want to put in your stories, right? Maybe it's going to be before and afters and you're going to offer a promo. Maybe the company has a promo going. I always try to say this on Sunday, so you guys kind of keep that in the back of your mind, because they're dropping things left and right. So I can't keep up with what they're dropping. So maybe it's going to be like the company has a promo and you need to remember during the week to put that into your planner, right? I always say, you guys, when we plan on Sundays, this is just getting you guys kind of started and getting a very good base. But then every single day, sitting with your planner, sitting with your, with what's going on in the company or what comes to you, and then putting that into your planner is important, right? Because they might drop a promo in 3 days that's not in our planner right now. And then you're going to have to adjust how you want to talk about that or share that. So think of your stories as well. Another good thing, you guys, that has really helped my views, I've been kind of working this to see if it really works, is starting my mornings off with a poll of some sort. Or not even just a poll, but like even slide to affirm. Rochelle I'm getting the lingo from her on some of these, like putting up a quote. My first things sometimes are not always just my thrive. It is something else of that nature. And my polls have definitely almost doubled my views from what I was doing. So you guys think about that. Maybe just even posting up how many hours of sleep did you get last night? Right. And then posting that also lets you get to know your audience. For people that aren't sleeping all the time, right? Keep that in the back of your mind. Those are people that probably need energy, right? The ones that are like, oh, barely slept, kids kept me up, or something like that. So think about those types of things too. And sorry, I have this fly that's just going crazy around me and I can't. Think about those types of things too, and how you want your stories to look. You guys, this taking your weekly pages and brain dumping onto them, right? Or a piece of paper if you want, and brain dump how you want things to look. Last week's Zoom was so good, you guys. It's your book. How do you want things to look? Okay, so just a little tip, you guys, how I'm using the playbook and how I am doing my weeks. My weekly focus pages, so your calendar, like let's say you don't have a playbook or you haven't printed it out yet using your calendar. I brain dump everything that I want my week to look like. So I will even put on there like if I have appointments, so like I have the chiropractor or doing this or doing that, I put in there, show how I'm working the business in between my appointments, right? Just brain dump. So I will brain dump my focused IPAs. I brain dump how I want my stories to look. I brain dump my pain points. So all of that goes into my week. So it's kind of like me just getting like everything out on paper and just kind of painting a picture. And then I'm using the daily to do every single day. So every night before I start my day, I am looking at my weekly that I'm jotting everything down that we're doing right now. I'm looking at it and then I'm taking all of my notes, all of my ideas, and I'm using the daily to do, and I am writing everything out and getting more focused, more clear, so that the next day, as soon as I wake up, I already know what I'm doing. I already the night before, I take the story slides or whatever slides I want. If I'm putting up a poll, something for engagement in the morning, whether it's like an I am statement or something like that, everything is saved. Everything is saved. Oh, that's okay, Whitney. Everything is saved the night before. So literally, you guys, it's about 30 minutes. I timed it, and I also like play music. So it probably could be shorter if you really wanted. But I sit with my weekly, I get my to-do list, I get all my slides ready for the next day. I have my post ready, my reel is ready. I put my caption into my reel and I save it. I find my cover photo. Like, I mean, I'm getting everything so ready 30 minutes at night, you guys, for the next day. So do you see how I'm using the weekly planner right now? And then my daily every single day is what I use. And then I'm using that for the accountability, right? So that I'm marking everything off, checking things off, and so on. All right, the next thing I want you guys to look at and plan is going to be those weekly things, right? So those are going to be those things at the front that are talked about. Those are the weekly things that we've talked about before. You guys, we call them the background work, right? Those are the things that aren't on the IPA list. Those are the extra things. So like Rochelle and I have said to you before, you know how we say, find someone, mimic them, right? If you're trying to step it up in your business, you see them post, you post, you see them share about the opportunity, you share about the opportunity. The background stuff is the other things that they're doing behind the scenes that you can't see. So if you want your business to also show up the way their business is, you have to add those things into your planner. So those things look like following up with your potentials, checking in with existing customers, posting about trial packs, right? Look at your week right now, decide what days you're going to post about trial packs. Or if you're going to post it as a post, are you going to make a reel about it? Or are you going to put it in your stories? Or maybe you're going to do all three, right? These are things you guys just kind of jot them down. If you're doing sales, which we talked about, checking in with your upline. When's the last time you just checked in with your upline? Just to let them know where you stood, where you're at, how things are flowing, what you're going for, what you're struggling with, your wins for the week. Y'all, I love when my girls come to me and share their wins because I like to celebrate with them. And that's just me. Some people are like that. Some people aren't. I like it. Customer thank yous. We're nearing the end of the month, you guys, right? All auto ships have ran. So have you sent out thank yous to your auto ship customers? It doesn't have to be a full size product, you guys, like some people do. If you don't have that, a thank you card, a thank you with even one packet of Thirst, with one thing of Boost, with whatever you have, a thank you card with nothing. A thank you card goes a long way, you guys. So mailing out your customer thank yous. Getting your work with me's, right? So right now, you guys, once I mute myself, I want you to go into the team page, because if you're on Limitless, you guys know it's in announcements. If you're on Lionhearted, you know that it's in the top, everywhere, you guys. And I want you to write what work with me's you're going to be on, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m., Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Plus we have the weekend Zooms, work with me's now too, our batching and planning. Monday nights at 8 p.m. plus other Zooms that are going on. I could name them all, but you guys, there's a lot. So when I mute myself, take these things that are on your weekly IPAs that I just listed and put them into your planner. What day are you going to do follow-ups? Sometimes you guys follow-ups just aren't on one day. You could follow up with a couple customers every single day, or do a couple 3-2-1s on your potentials list every single day. Write that down. Your thank yous, checking in, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. So you guys take a look at your week, and I want you to plug in those weekly to-dos and your work with me's. Go ahead and look at the work with me schedule and plug in your work with me's and your Zooms that you want to get on. Make those non-negotiable, you guys. I dropped in the chat the weekly. This is something Rochelle and I have been sharing with you guys all the time. So this shouldn't be new if it's not in your notes. But if you are and you haven't saved it, these are some weekly background things you guys can pick from to plug into your calendars. Creating your content. What day are you going to sit down and create your reels? Do you need photos? Things like that. This is all stuff you guys right now looking at your weekly, what you want to do. And I'm going to shut up, but I'm going to say one tip, you guys. So last week, right, we changed our way of planning. We changed our way of batching. So after I got off the batching Zoom, I was fresh with my ideas and pain points of what I wanted to talk about. So I went and saved reel sounds that I knew I wanted to use. And Monday right away, when I woke up, that was the first thing I did. So my background work was creating all of my reels for the week based on what I just batched. So I already knew what I wanted to talk about. My topics were already written. I knew my pain points. So while I was scrolling reels, that was in the back of my head. So I didn't need to see a reel that had to do with it. As soon as the sound triggered that feeling and the emotion that I already had, saved. And then I wrote down what I saved, why I saved it, what I wanted to do with it. And then the next day I created everything. So does that kind of make sense how you take this week and then you flow into your reels and so on? So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. The background work is in the chat. I can give you guys the limitless. I forgot we were like basically at the end of the month, y'all. Bear with me here. My brain. The work with me's never change, you guys, which is like super nice. I mean, if they do change, it's very, very far-fetched that they ever change. So the new September schedule, this is for limitless, you guys. It's still going to be your Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and your Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. work with me's. Saturdays, we have a 9 a.m. work with me. Sunday, 6 p.m. Then we have the batching and planning on Sundays, which you guys are on. And then Monday nights, 8 p.m. Those don't change. Wednesday night, 7 p.m., which that hasn't changed either. And then there's a new one added Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And the code for that one is 939098471. I'll repeat that code. 939. I guess I'll just try to put in the chat. 93909844791. So you guys will see that on the new September schedule. Okay. Yes, it's Sam. Just a couple more minutes, you guys wrap things up, and then we'll finalize our planning so we can run into the batching. So I'm going to paint a picture for you guys of how my desk looks that you guys can't see, with the playbook and other things handy when I'm planning. I have my weekly out because that's where I brain dump, like we talked about. I have my daily to-do list right next to me so that I can already start planning for tomorrow. I have my daily IPAs, which you guys all know, plus the background work I just wrote out for you. So I have that right here for me so I can plan that into my week so that this way I can then daily write things out. I also have my fives list so that I make sure, like Rochelle said, to pull from my branding to not forget who I am when I'm planning my week. And I have my pain points. So when I am planning, those things are surrounding me. So I am looking at all of that. I'm looking at my fives. I'm looking at my pain points. I'm looking at those things and putting them in. So do you guys see how for me, I kind of take all the sheets out, have them around me when I'm planning, and then they go back to being like nice and pretty. Okay. But this way I see everything and I kind of have that visual of all of my things. And then, like I said, you guys, I take that daily to do. Some of y'all need to make this daily to do. If you're saying I'm doing all the things and my business isn't moving, I want you to really focus on the daily to do sheet, because that has changed things for me in these last few weeks that I've been using them. It has helped me stay accountable to myself, but it's also helped me see like what background work I was falling short on, not the IPAs, but the background work I was falling short on and the other little things. So you guys, that daily, I think it's mine and Rochelle's like favorite sheet. The daily to do is my like best friend when it comes to my business. So every night, like I said,
more sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Rochelle, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm printing like 7 more of the daily to do, because that's a mistake that I made when I first printed the playbook. Was those daily ones, like you have to make sure you print multiple, because I'm like sitting here trying to plan. I'm like, oh my, So we've got a bunch of them planning or printing, but I wanted to add something too quickly, guys. So in these playbooks, you've got your focused IPA, you've got your post idea, you've got your pain point. Make sure you're also planning, like Christina said, your stories. And I want to challenge you guys this week to go face to face more in your stories and talk about those pain points. Share those stories. So I know for me, for a long time, I was very surface level, and I was only sharing like story slides or very just like short snippets of things. This last week, I challenged myself, like, okay, I'm going to assign days, like 3 days a week. I'm going to go face to face on my stories and talk about this. I'm going to tell this story. And again, like I got so many more people in my inbox, so many more people talking to me saying that like they can relate to what I was talking about. And I've told so many of you so many times, when you go face to face, it hits people differently because they can hear it in your voice, whether it's excitement around what's happening or it's like pain around something that you've gone through or that you've struggled with. It hits people a lot differently. So as you're going through and doing this, I challenge you to, underneath story ideas, assign a few different days where you're going to go face to face in your stories and talk about those things, and even like assign lives. Like these are great topics to go live about, and that's something that personally I need to be better about as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
I love it. I told Rochelle, I'm like, listen, Rochelle, when we do the plannings or the batching, like commingle, because her and I are always on the same page. You guys don't know how many times right before the planning Zoom, we text to make sure like, hey, this, that, whatever. And it's like, we're already thinking the same thing. So I love it. Make sure you're printing out 7 of the dailies, you guys, so that you have them. I have them printed right in a thing at my desk. So the night before I pull it out, like she said, start planning those stories and talking. They talked about it in the OG Zoom this past weekend. If you guys didn't catch that, make that something on your to-do list to catch, because it was a fire Zoom between Linda, Em, and Katie. And Katie was saying, know your gifts. Know what your strengths are. Some of y'all can't create a Canva to save your life, but you can get in your stories and you can move a person with your words. And you're over here trying to create a Canva all the time when you need to go and move your audience with your words, because that's what your gift is, right? Some of y'all are bomb at creating Canva and you're over here trying to do something else, right? Use your gifts. Also challenge yourself. I'm not saying just because you're gifted in words not to do the Canva, or just because you're gifted in Canva not to use the words. No, but remember, you guys, to use those things to get to your audience different ways. Some people like to hear things. Some people like to visually see things and read things. Everybody is different. I am somebody, I will read captions. My best friend does not read a caption to save her life. Right? Everybody is different. So if you are working your business in multiple different ways, right? Always kind of challenging yourself in all the different ways, you're hitting the different people as well too. Because some people are at work and maybe they can't, every day listen to the stories. But you pop up a Canva and they're like, ooh, I felt that. And then they're going to circle back the next day. It's all different, you guys, so many different points of view. So make sure that you are challenging yourself. You should never feel stuck in your business, because there are multiple ways to work your business. There are multiple ways to challenge yourself. There are multiple ways to up level in your business. So feeling stuck, right? That word we don't like to say, should never come, right? Because there are multiple things that you can be doing. So, I hope you guys got a good planning session. If you have any questions, drop them. I'm going to shut up now so we can go ahead and batch. And you guys, like I said, this is for Rochelle and I, this is our first week's kind of batching and planning with you guys, using the new playbook, actually launching and rolling it out to you, plus us getting our feet and really digging in with our heels. So bear with us as we find our grounding. But you guys, this is what has been working, and I've seen it change my business. So use that weekly, use that to do. And Rochelle, on to you, babe.
Thank you. Okay, so I was just reading a question here. So some of the pages you're going to have to print out multiple times, like that daily to do. Also, on the other side of that, you guys, some pages you might like looking through, you might know that like, I'm not going to use that page, like daily gratitude, for example. Maybe you have a journal that's like your gratitude journal. So you know you're not going to use that page. Well, don't print that page. So this playbook, you guys, completely customizable to you. I sat over here, I printed more pages. I reorganized so that it flowed to make sense to like what I do every single morning and how I work things. So super customizable, but I want to see a raise of hands like in the chat and stuff. Like, how are we feeling with this first? Like, how do we feel when we just use this playbook and kind of like planned through it? Does everything flow? Does it make sense to you guys? Do you have any questions? Let me know. But we are going to get into batching, and I've spent a lot of time on one-on-ones with my personal downline recently. And one of the things that's like across the board is people will plan, they'll know what they want to talk about. They'll even like batch some captions and stuff. But throughout the week, it's like, you guys, some people get on these Sundays and then the week comes, or you get off of here and you close your planner and you never look at it again. So throughout the week, like you're not actually doing any of the things that you had planned. So in these next, like I'm going to set timers for 3 minutes. You guys make sure that you are being intentional with this time. This is going to make your weeks so much easier, but only if you actually like sit down and do it right now. Okay. So we're going to set timers for 3 minutes. This is for accountability, you guys, because I know for a lot of you, if we didn't set these timers and we didn't do this together, these things would not get batched. So for my playbook, I just bought like this little binder, and then I got a 3 hole punch. Is that what they're called? Super, super inexpensive at Target, and they all go right in here. Okay, so let's pull up Monday's pain point, and let me know, you guys, in the chat what your Monday pain point is. I'm going to set a timer, and for 3 minutes, we're going to kind of free write on whatever that is. When I'm doing these, so like tomorrow, I'm going to talk about like my pain point is a maybe later mom. So I'm going to tell a story about a time or a day where, like my kids wanted to go out and do something or play a board game or whatever it was, but I was too tired to do it. And I'm going to tell a story, like a real life story around that. But yeah, let me know what your pain points are in the chat. That way we can kind of just, again, accountability, energy, and patience for work after a busy weekend. I love that. Brain fog. Okay, cool. Keep these coming. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and set the timer. All right, there's the timer for Monday. Let's move on to Tuesday. Again, let me know in the chat what your Tuesday ones are. I was just reading through these and and I'm so proud of you guys for digging below like that surface level. Like I really love how detailed you guys are getting. Super proud of everyone because I know that's a huge struggle. So very proud. But yes, let's do Tuesday and I want to see them in the chat.
You guys, just a little tip, too, if you're ever like, I don't really know what to talk about in my stories, how we said planning your stories. You can even go and talk in your stories about what you're going to post about tomorrow, right? So, or the next day or later that week. So then they're hearing it and then they're seeing it again, right? In a different way. So maybe it's not always just in the same day. So like maybe tomorrow I'll go and talk about how we're working on Tuesday. I'll go and talk about how I have such a day full of appointments and like all the appointments and ask like my friends, like, do you guys schedule your appointments all in one day or do you have to schedule them multiple different days? And then tomorrow my post is going to go and really dig into why this opportunity. And then I talked about it. Does that kind of make sense? So if you're ever wondering, like, how can I pull things together? I don't really know what to talk about. You can even talk from the days that are to come, get to know your audience, like kind of let them know, and then bring it up if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I actually love when I follow people who do that. And it like almost it like puts me on the edge of my seat because like especially if it's something obviously that like intrigues me or interests me, I want to know what it is. And also like I'm just naturally I'm a very nosy person. So when people like hint that something's coming or that they have a story to tell or whatever, I will like I will stalk their stuff until like they say what it is, right? Because I'm nosy and I'm just like I want to know. So I love that. All right, so let's move on to Wednesday. Keep the chat coming with all of these different topics, you guys. All right, moving on to Thursday, September 1st. So we're gonna go Monday to Friday. So we're gonna do 5 of these, you guys. We stopped doing 7 a long time ago, just because like I told you guys previously, like I know and I want you guys to wake up some days and share like whatever's on your heart. So that's why we went down to 5. I know some people had asked that last week. So Thursday, which is also September 1st, which is crazy. All right, you guys, we are about to do Friday, but I also want you guys, so part of that like those weekly IPs, right? The background work. If you haven't already, I want you to schedule in a day and a time when you're going to create fresh story content. And I want you to take like 2 to 3 of these things that you're typing out and turn them into stories. You guys have heard me, I say this every Sunday, but this truly is the easiest way to get fresh story content. It's just taking these captions, breaking them up into 2, 3, maybe even 4 different story slides, literally copying and pasting, and boom, you have like fresh story content to use. So if you did not plan that for this week, definitely put that in somewhere in here and figure out which ones you want to turn into stories. But let's go ahead for the next 3 minutes and do Fridays, and then we will get ready to wrap this up. Tiara, I'm just reading this. So she asked you check off your IPs the day you are doing your post, like the ones that are on the daily to do. I do, because I am very much so, and I know Christina's the same way. I'm very much so a paper to pen check mark person. I love to track my progress on things that I do. So I do use those checklists on the daily to do. And I also, so Lindsay left some spaces, some empty spaces at the bottom. So I will also put in like those Zoom meetings that I want to get on. So I'll put like in Monday nights on Monday. I have committed to 3 work with me's a week. I started this last week. Moving forward, I am getting back on 3 work with me's a week. So I've picked my days that I'm going to commit to. And so at the bottom, I will add that work with me as well on that day so that I check it off after I do it. So I do use that, but you guys also, there is an IPA tracker. If you're someone who doesn't really use the daily to do, or you like to see it tracked a different way, there's several different options of doing that.
And I just want to add on to that, to the daily to do, you guys, if you're going to post twice, like Rochelle was saying, like maybe you want to do a lifestyle post and you want to do just like a regular like product post or business post, like those spots at the bottom, you can add to it, or right where it says post, like on your IPAs. I put post and then I put thrive, and then I make another little check mark box next to it and I put lifestyle. So the days I know I want to post twice, that's how I put it on my daily. If you're using the daily, just kind of give you guys some ideas. And then at the bottom, how there are some blank spots, that is where I put the background work that I'm going to do. So I have already written it, and then I put the background work right there. And then at night, those post ideas and story ideas, I actually put check mark boxes because as you guys know, Rochelle and I are very much into check marks. So I will put what I want everything to look about. So if I'm going to post before and afters, offer $25 off, I put that in my stories with a check mark box. If I'm going to offer trial packs, I put that with a check mark box. For my post ideas, I will write down different things. I honestly have been using a lot of the post idea part even to write more story ideas, so that I'm really hanging out in my stories. So you could even use it to put like face to face, things like that, if you're really trying to get out of your comfort zone. So, and then I, like Rochelle said at the bottom, I put my notes of like things for my business that I need to do. So let's say I signed a customer that day. Under the notes, I will put that person's name. So like, let's say Jenny signed with me. So I'll put Jenny E60 pack, so that when I sit down at night to get my to-do list for the next day going, I look and see, oh, Jenny signed up on E60 pack, and Tyler signed up for a trial. So tomorrow I know to send my thank you to Jenny for the E60. So I'm already writing that thank you to her and it's getting out. And then I'm putting in there to track to make sure that Tyler approved his sample. Do you see how I'm you kind of can use the notes as like a brain dump throughout your day as things are going on, you guys, so that you're always staying one step ahead. That's something that Lindsay really talks about in the OG Zoom on Saturday, you guys, that obviously we've heard it so many times, right? But I even saw for myself, I don't have like my systems on lock when it comes to when people sign up with me as a customer, how much I'm tracking their packages. Am I making sure I'm the first person that says, hey, it's in your inbox, that sort of thing. So these pages are going to be perfect for you to jot down your notes and jot down things so you can start creating those habits that will just become like the clockwork, right? And it's okay if they're not like clockwork. I've been here 4 years and I'm still learning and still being like, ooh, I need to add that, or ooh, I like the way she does that. So for me to make it a clockwork type of thing, I have to write it down a few times before it becomes that stable habit where it's like brushing my teeth, right? So I just wanted to add that.
And like we always say to you guys, even if you only have like one, let's say you have one customer right now or one teammate, now is the time to create those systems, to get them unlocked, because it's going to be a whole heck of a lot easier to do it and to stick to it and to create it when you have one versus waiting until you're like 30 teammates deep to start, creating these systems that can be duplicated down. So start now, even with that one person, even if you don't have a single teammate or a single customer, figure out like what you're going to do when you get that person, how you're going to take care of them. Okay, that wraps up the batching and planning today. If anyone has any questions before we hop off, drop it in the chat now. Christina, do you have anything that you want to add before we kind of close this up? Okay, like we say every weekend too, you guys, I know for me, I still have some, because I've kind of gotten into what Christina talks about. I brain dump everything onto like sticky notes now before I put it in my planner and in my playbook. So that's kind of what I did a lot of today. So I'm not going to close everything up when I close this Zoom and go about my day. I'm going to sit here a little bit longer and put the finishing touches on everything so that I make sure when I wake up tomorrow morning, like everything's there, I'm good to go. I know what I'm doing this week. So you won't always finish everything all the way through when you're on this, but make sure that you do set aside time today to finish what you did not. Okay, so I don't see any questions. So Christina, I think we're good to go ahead and close this. I know she will be posting the replay to her YouTube, sharing in the chats so that you guys can share with anyone on your team who missed it. And we hope that you guys have a good week. Bye, guys.